Oops. Hopefully you've seen a previous video of the iMac G4 that you can see behind me. If not, you might want to go and see that. It is ridiculously long, but you can skip through it. It's an unboxing of this 15-inch iMac G4, perfect condition, original box, original packaging, everything. It's really quite interesting. That was a few days ago that arrived, probably about a week ago maybe now. I seem to have acquired another one over the weekend. You can probably see that the screen is a bit larger on this one. This does tend to happen to me, where if I become interested in a particular piece of tech or something similar, usually some stupid piece of obsolete hardware like this, that one arrives shortly followed by one or more extra models. I'm going to try and not acquire any more, but this one, which is a little bit too hard to miss, it was acquired locally, so on eBay, and the guy had it finishing at 7:45 on a Sunday morning. Now, I wouldn't normally probably be awake quite at that time, but I had a delivery due of something else that day, and they potentially could have arrived at 8 o'clock onwards, so it was a good excuse to be up, and I threw in a last second bid. There was one other bid, I think, just towards the end, but I won this for £50 or thereabouts, 51 I think. I think I ended up giving the guy £52. It was a little bit of a trek in the snow and a bit of a pain getting the car down to his street, etc. But it's here now. I have to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed when I got this home, because number one, it may be a little bit hard to see, but the screen tilts badly. Well, not badly, but enough to be quite annoying, to be honest. I've stuck a little piece of paper in the back, in the hinge, or the mount, to try and stop that a little bit. But it really probably just needs tightening up, but I'm not sure how easy that is with the custom arm that's on it. Screen is a 17 regards instead of the 15 on there, so I thought I was onto a winner here. I thought, much better machine, bigger screen. It was billed, if that's the right word, as a 1 gigahertz model, so I presume, and that's the same as the one behind there. So I presume it's pretty much going to be the same, just a bigger screen. However, and obviously with these things you do take a risk. Oh, hard drive spinning up. Yeah, it's also got one of those awful hard drives, whiny hard drives. I don't know if you can hear. Awful thing. It's running Tiger, but it's an 800 megahertz model. It does have more RAM, however. The 15-inch only had 256, so that badly needs an upgrade. This has 768, so presumably it's got a 512 in the user accessible slot. Now, this is a much older model. I think it's actually one of the first iMac G4s. So we're not even on the same memory or bus speed. The memory is actually SD RAM, PC133 SD RAM. So it really is quite a bit older, really. I mean, it's only a year or so, probably, in actual terms, but it just does feel quite a lot older. It's also not got any USB 2 ports. It's USB 1.1 only. So the whole thing just doesn't feel quite right, especially with the slightly tilted screen here. So to be honest, I think I will probably keep the 15. So you may think, why on earth did you actually buy this? It wasn't just for the bigger screen, and so it's not a complete disaster, and I'll explain why. But I'll just finish off quickly explaining. It also has a super drive, so a DVD writer. Whether that actually works properly or not, I'm not sure, because the whole machine was pretty grubby condition. Going into this guy's house was a little bit of an experience, to be honest. Wouldn't say it was a dirty house, but it looked like I'd stepped into the 1960s, so odd to say the least, but I was quite pleased to make my escape in the end. So I've given it a little bit of a clean up. It's not perfect, but you can kind of see a little bit of kind of grime around there when you compare it to that one. It's only because you had the two sat next to each other that it's quite so obvious. I maybe wouldn't really have noticed if it wasn't for the fact that I had a perfect condition model sat right next to it. But I have cleaned it up. It's not looking too bad. It's not too bad. The hinge slop, or whatever you would call it, is a bit annoying, but we'll see if we can do anything about that. It's one of those things you can get away with it. If I'm going to sell it, then what are people really gonna say? I mean, you just don't quite mention that fact, I guess. Keyboard was not originally apparently included, but he did find it last minute. It does work, although he did claim to have perhaps spilt something in it. And if I tip it up, yeah, that's pretty disgusting, to be honest. I get the feeling quite a lot of that's probably inside, but I probably should try and clean that at some point. Because it does appear to work. I haven't found any keys that don't, anyway. Came with the wired Mighty Mouse. I don't like these things either. I used to when I first got my first MacBook a few years ago, quite a few years ago now. I had one of these, the Bluetooth ones, and anyone who's used one for any length of time will know that these little wheels plug up and stop working. So it's much better, obviously, than the Pro Mouse with no scrolling, but not something I'd want to use for a long time. I'm a big fan of the Magic Mouse. It's a very nice mouse, probably the best that I've used in a long time. Anyway, turn my screens back on so I get a bit more light. So, like you say, why exactly did I buy this if it is a bit dodgy? Well, it came with quite a few extras, which was one of the main draws for me. I'll just go through them one by one. What's this? A Mighty Mouse software CD. I have no idea why you need software for the Mighty Mouse. I presume when it was released, there was software for older versions of OS X that didn't support it natively. Putting these upside down. iLife 05. I presume that probably came with it. I'm not too sure. But hey ho. Now this, I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought this was boxed. But it's a retail OS X Tiger CD or DVD. The reason I thought it was boxed was because there was this in the picture, and that is actually a manual for Tiger. But that's all in nice condition. It's not too shabby. Sorry, that's just my day-to-day keyboard in the way. And there we go. Adobe CS2 Premium. There's a key on the back, and the only thing is, which he did mention, is it is the education version. So I presume that does limit its value somewhat. But there's a full set of CDs in here for CS2, and to be honest, these do still sell on eBay. So to be honest, I think that is not a bad purchase to be getting these things included. Manual for that, pretty cool. And one more, Office 2004 for Mac, again student and teacher version. This guy was pretty old, I would say, kind of retirement age, so I'm not quite sure where he gets the student editions from. Maybe teacher or lecturer or something weird like that. He did have that education kind of eccentric about him, so maybe that was it. So we have that as well, and these are all nicely installed on here. He hasn't registered them again or attempted to, but they are there. So that's pretty nice. So there's quite a bit of software there. To be honest, I reckon 20 quid each. You might get that on eBay. So that would mean this cost me 10 quid. However, there is one last item that was included, and that is this. This is an iSight camera. So it was, as far as I know, or pretty much Apple's first webcam. Certainly the first iSight. They may have had, I know they did dabble in rebadged digital cameras quite some time ago. So it could have been there could have been some kind of a webcam before this, but this was pretty much the one. And these can fetch a pretty penny. Unfortunately, it's not boxed, and they did come with quite a number of adapters and stands and mounts and clips and things, which this doesn't. It just comes with that and one mount, which I'll show you in a minute. It's worth mentioning this is a Firewire camera, Firewire 400 that it uses, which was kind of popular in the day on the Mac. It's not HD or anything like that, because this is quite old. It's quite this nice little manual lens cover or iris or whatever you would call it, and the software does seem to know when that's open and closed. It's quite nice. So yeah, those, I would have thought the software and the iSight camera are easily worth £60-70 probably, maybe I'm pushing it a little bit there. I should also mention that it came with the speakers, the same as you can see in the background there. They're just off to the side somewhere. So it's, I think, pretty generous package for the money I paid. Quite happy. I just need to perhaps move some of this stuff on. I can't keep it forever, so I'll maybe have to get onto that. But as you can see here, I'll take this silly bit of paper out because it's not really helping at all. But he has left one of the iSight mounts on here. Now I'd have to feed the cable all the way through, so bear with me. But at least I do have that. I suppose I could try and remove that and attach it to my better or good iMac. It's just a shame it didn't come with some of the other mounts. I was kind of hoping it would, so that I could maybe mount it to one of the cinema displays that I have, or something like that. To be honest, I mean, I do have better webcams. So there we go. This the Firewire plug has this little piece around it that will come off with you press the button in and unclip it. But it forms this kind of nice little plug to plug it in. So there you go. So there you have the iSight camera. So this was dubbed as a kind of webcam, and also for using to make home movies and things like this. So it's pretty cool. I'm just trying to think if there's anything actually on this Mac that I could use. Supposedly, probably iMovie would do the job. I'd actually have to plug the camera into the Mac. That would probably help. Let's do that. Into the Firewire port. There we go. My camera battery is running down, on my phone battery, I should say. And I can't remember how you do this, so I will have a look. I can't remember at all. Okay, so it's hiding from me. It's that little button there, that little thing here. iSight. So yeah, I mean, first time I've actually been seen in one of these videos. Quite scary. But if I do that, nice. Doesn't just go blank. So it's a nice little camera. I think it's only something like 640 by 480 or something. The resolution. So it's nothing to write home about. But they are still quite sought after, just because of the great little design on them and everything. So yeah, I think overall another great little purchase. Probably need to get rid of one or the other, and I think it's probably going to have to be the 17. It's slower, it's older, doesn't have USB 2, and it's not in as good condition. The only thing it's really got going for it is the screen size. It did occur to me, could you swap perhaps the screens over, but looking at it, it's really not worth the effort. Also, I think although the screen is bigger, it is a couple of years older probably, and the I don't know, it just doesn't quite have the same kind of quality to it. I think maybe the panels maybe were of slightly lower quality in the earlier days. Maybe it's not terrible. It is pretty good, but I just don't think it's quite as good. That said, I think one thing I will do to this before I attempt to move it on is probably install Leopard. So I will probably go and grab a Leopard DVD and attempt that, because it does have 768 meg. That's not really ideal, but it is damn sight better than the 256 that's in the 15-inch. I should say that the 15-inch has just fallen asleep by the looks of it. Is now running Tiger, believe it or not. I didn't know Tiger would run on 256. It does. It's not great. It does need more, but it works. I can use it as an iTunes sort of client, I suppose, rather than not a server, but a client. So hook into my iTunes library over the network and play music through the nice speakers on the desk. If I could wake it up, and I'm not sure if I can because I've unplugged the keyboard and mouse. Let's try. Yeah, I can. What I should be able to do, which may not work immediately since it's just woken up, if these two cinema screens are connected to my Mac Mini, if you can see the pointer, I barely can. Yeah, here we go. So if I move that off the side of there, it appears on the iMac. So obviously there's some trickery involved there, because the keyboard and mouse are attached to the Mac Mini. That is a little piece of software that is allowing me to control it over the network, called Synergy, which is free. They do ask for donations, which I will definitely do, because the donation defaults to $1. So yeah, I can manage that. It's available for Windows, Mac and Linux, and that means you can control all three OSs via one kind of server control machine. So I'm definitely going to look into that further. I've kind of may have come across it in the past, but I've never actually used it. The version that runs on 10.4 on Tiger is an older one, and it didn't seem to have a GUI. But just for using it as a client to connect, to control that machine was pretty easy. Not too difficult at all to set up. So really, really cool. I'm hoping to get Leopard on the 15-inch as well, but going to need more RAM to even attempt that. And obviously I can't harvest the RAM from here because this is SD RAM, that's DDR. So never mind, we'll definitely have to get some ordered for that. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching again. I do have some other videos coming up. I've got one on the Apple Cinema displays that you can see here. Got that pretty much recorded. I just need to do a little bit of editing on that. And yeah, I know editing, you wouldn't believe it really, would you, looking at the shoddy work so far, but tiny bit does go into it. And also I'm going to have one on another iMac that is going to be arriving, but I won't say which one. We'll look at that fairly soon, hopefully maybe tomorrow. Okay, again, thanks for watching. If you are interested in this kind of thing, then please feel free to subscribe. I don't really benefit from it at all, but it's just nice to know that people are interested. And of course, again, leave some comments. I'm happy to respond. Thanks very much.